Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to A-Train Gaming. Now, I'm probably one of the biggest overthinkers I know. I overthink everything, and that is a big problem when I try to sleep at night because you need like a really clear mind to sleep, and my mind is not clear at all when I sleep. So once I decide to actually go to bed and make an effort to lay down, it usually will take me another hour to 2 hours to fall asleep just because of the fact that I think a lot, which makes me not that tired. Over the last couple of nights, what seems to be what I've been thinking about lately has to do about childhood and how much I actually miss being a kid. Now, what I miss most about being a kid is just that I don't really think I experienced, like, really big stress ever as a kid. Like, there's probably instances where, like, you're upset a lot, but I would just more call it like a temper tantrum. I don't think I was stressed as a kid, really, ever. Maybe a little bit, but probably not. I don't really think the whole concept of stress and actually like being nervous about like going to school or doing anything really hit me hard until freshman year of high school, and it's something I still have to this day. But high school is when it started, and I really, at the time when I went to middle school, of course, like you're everyone, you've been there for what, 9 years, you're gonna start to not like it a little bit, but I never not liked it because it was stressful. I just didn't like it because I thought it was boring. A couple things I miss about being a kid specifically is I miss on weekend mornings going into my parents' room and playing the PlayStation 1 or the Game Boy and playing Pokemon all day. Those were like the first game. The first games I really ever liked to play were like Pokemon games and Tony Hawk games on PlayStation 1. I played other games on PlayStation 1 too. A lot of Crash Bandicoot games, and just because I think when you start playing as a kid, the first couple games you play are always going to be like held dearly. So I really miss playing those games. I miss watching like the cartoons and all the stuff I used to watch. I miss watching SpongeBob every morning. I still watch it sometimes, but not as much. I just miss watching Power Rangers. I miss watching Drake and Josh and Ned's Declassified. I miss watching a lot of the kid shows, Ed and Eddie. The old Cartoon Network I really miss, and the old Nickelodeon I really miss. I really miss how sports were as a kid too. As a kid, I feel like sports were fun first, win second. Yeah, when you get to like the school teams and stuff, you want to win mostly, but it was always fun when you were a kid. Like, some of my best memories are Saturday mornings going to play flag football because it wasn't like a big deal if you win. Like, I was a very competitive person. I always wanted to win. But it was more about fun than it was winning. And in high school, I don't think sports really care if you have fun or not as long as you win. I'd say there's a pretty consistent theme to this, is that most of the stuff I enjoy as a kid have changed. And that's just the one part that's a part of growing up. It's going to happen to everyone. You're not going to be a kid and hold on to the things you liked as a kid forever. But another part of it is just, high school happens. And high school is really the first ever serious sort of work environment you get into, but it's much more serious than middle school, and all you think to yourself is, I got to do good so I can get into a good college. So right off the bat, it's a stressful environment to be in. It was so easy to create fun from nothing when you were a kid. For example, when I would go over to a friend's house, you don't need like a video game system or any of that stuff. All you needed was a good amount of friends, and we would play Capture the Flag, or we would play Manhunt, and just all that stuff outside. We'd ride bikes around the town, and I really missed doing that. In high school, in school, you like at sporting events and stuff, you can have some fun, like going to watch a game or something. But what's considered like a good time in high school, because everyone's older and they think they're more mature, is partying. And partying is something that I've never done and I never want to do. So that immediately like puts you out of like the social class of like the people who get together after school, because I didn't want to be a part of that stuff. I would rather, even though I'm 18 years old, I would still rather go play Manhunt or Capture the Flag than I would get drunk or smoke weed. One mistake I made in high school that if you're not in high school yet, you should seriously consider is don't hang out with people or don't associate yourself with people just because they're the popular crowd and you want to fit in. Okay, nobody cares. Fitting in is not that important. If you're friends with like the popular crowd, that's great. Good for you. If not, you don't need to try to make yourself like the popular crowd like you. You should just find a group of friends that have in common with what you have in common, and just hang out with them and do your own thing. You don't need to try to impress anybody in high school. I could never think this way at the time, but it's easy looking back that it's not going to matter in like 4 years. Most of these people you're never going to see again. I graduated in May, and I've probably seen 5 or 6 people since I've graduated that went to my school. And of those people, how many have I had a conversation with? Maybe one. So it's really not going to matter once you graduate. It's just about getting through those 4 years. What really started this whole thought process of going back to being a kid for me was I was on Netflix one night, And I had this sudden urge to watch Power Rangers, and I don't know why. I mean, it was my favorite show when I was a kid, but I don't know why at 18 that was my urge. So I went to Netflix and I searched Power Rangers, and it turns out they had like every single episode from every single season of Power Rangers I ever watched on Netflix. And my heart like sank into my stomach. Like I was actually really excited about it. But it was just a nice little flashback. And yeah, like a lot of stuff you like as a kid is cheesy, and if you go back to it now, you can't really enjoy it as much. But I actually enjoyed it just because like all the memories that come with it, and I just really miss the simpler times, as corny as that sounds. So if any of you are not in high school yet and are still in middle school or younger, enjoy it, because that's going to be the best time of your life.